Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a packed Carroll Hutchins Stadium here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You've tuned in to WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan softball, and you're in for a fun one, folks. It's shades of 2005, the Women's College World Series all over again as the Michigan Wolverines and the UCLA Bruins, two historic softball programs, clash for the first time in the state of Michigan and as Big Ten foes. I'm TJ Foster, alongside me up here in the booth, Sydney Cyprian. In the first of a three-game series, and for Michigan, this is a series that has been circled on the calendar for a while now, and it's so much more important now after Michigan dropped 3 games to rival Ohio State last weekend, combined with the Big Ten softball tournament looming in just under 2 weeks. And then in the opposite dugout, UCLA, ranked 7th in the nation, seems to be on cruise control. In their first season in the Big Ten, they sit second behind the Oregon Ducks and lost the series to them last weekend. So, Sydney, you told me you're a huge UCLA softball fan. You have been for your entire life. And what can you tell us about this team, and who does Michigan have to match up against? Who do you have to look out for?
Yeah, thank you, TJ. You're so right. I've been a huge UCLA softball fan. When I was growing up, they played a huge role in me eventually playing in high school and a little here in college with club sports. But players like Rachel Garcia, Mai Brady were instrumental in that. And that being said, being here at Michigan, it's been such an honor to not only watch the Michigan softball team, but to see them grow as a team and even people individually. I've gotten to know some of them, and that's been so nice. Mm-hmm. One of them being Janisa Conway, who reminds me a lot of Maya Brady in her playing style and being out there in center field and also having such a big bat for Michigan. And then this game's going to be crucial for the Wolverines. Like you said, they just lost to Ohio State. And, UCLA, they've just been unstoppable in the Big Ten. But, the addition of UCLA to the Big Ten softball conference has not only just heightened the competitiveness for players, but, people like Megan Grant for UCLA. Yeah. She's been instrumental at the plate for them. And she's been part of the reason why other Big Ten teams have struggled to catch up to UCLA. So Michigan's going to have to keep their bats hot. A lot of times you'd say it's the battle of the pitchers, but tonight I think it's going to be a battle of who can, hit consistently and make those base plays and get to the base and come home, earning those runs, because UCLA's bats are always hot. And so sometimes Michigan can be a little inconsistent on that aspect. So if they can keep their bats hot, they can play a good game of softball tonight. They
certainly can. Michigan does take the field, and no shocker of who's in the circle for the Wolverines. It's Lauren Durkowski. Will get underway at 6:04 as Durkowski rocks back and deals to Jessica Clemens, a leadoff hitter for the Bruins. Hitting one tick over 376. First pitch falls into the zone for a strike. Clemens, a grad transfer from Cal Poly, 2-time Big West batting champion, comes to L.A. as that pitch is upstairs to run the count even 1-1.
Yeah, she holds a lot of awards, being Big West Player of the Year last year and several years beforehand as well. Just really great at the plate.
The 1-1 is chopped to Maddie Erickson at the hot corner, who fired over to first, not in time as Clemens was galloping down the line quickly. So leadoff base runner on for the Bruins here in the top of the first.
Yeah, those are kind of difficult. Had a little hop on it because of the dirt. I don't know if you know, but in Carroll Hutchins Stadium, it's dirt infield, turf outfield, and so having to judge the bounce off that ball can be difficult sometimes, and then you got to get to first.
Certainly, and that's a testament to Clemens' speed with Maddie Erickson's rocket of an arm at the hot corner as Savannah Paulo will step in, hitting .444 on the season as F pitch is upstairs for a ball, 1-0 count.
Yeah, both Jessica Clemens and Savannah Paula, both slap hitters. You tend to see that at the beginning of the lineup.
That pitch upstairs. Clemens will go to second, and that's off the second base umpire. Gets away from Ella McVeigh at short. Indiana Langford, with her speed, will corral that back in. The runner will stay in at second, but with no outs, the Bruins have a runner in scoring position with the heart of this order due up for the Bruins. Throw got a little bit away from Lily Valmont behind the dish.
Yeah, big throw there. I mean, sometimes catchers have really big arms. They have to make it all the way down, and she just kind of overthrew. Luckily enough for the Wolverines, the umpire was there to block that throw.
That was certainly
crucial.
Lucky. as Durkowski will deal the 2-0. And downstairs to run the count 3-0. Durkowski quickly behind in the circle. John Bacco was behind second and got nailed on the throw from Valamont. Fortunate break for the Wolverines. So 3-0 pitch is on the way, and that misses just outside ball 4. So 2 runners on, nobody out in the top of the first. In the heart of this Bruin order, starting off with Jordan Woolry. This 3-4 combo for this UCLA Bruins squad is absolutely potent. Both Woolry and Grant to follow up in the cleanup spot have combined for 40 home runs and 138 RBIs on the season. That pitch is downstairs, just missed with the breaking action. Or excuse me, it does fall into the zone. 0-1. Still nobody down in the top of the first.
Yeah, this is a classic setup for a batting lineup here. You have 2 slap hitter, bunter type hitters in 1 and 2, and then a power righty in your 3 slot, and then an even powerful, probably, no, she looks like a lefty, but a lefty hitter in your 4 to bring them all home.
Count now 1-1. That pitch was upstairs off the hands of Durkowski. She's set in the circle, rocks back and deals. She will punch that one just foul down the first base line. We'll do it again next time at a 1-2 count.
An unsure hit there. A lot of times you see those types of hits that kind of just, you punch it foul a little bit when you're down in the count, but 1-1 count like you said.
As Rory will rocket that one down the right field line. That'll shade just foul. Had enough power, fortunately for the Wolverines, on the right side of the chalk down the foul line. We'll do it again for a 3rd time at a 1-2 count. Woolry, the junior, hitting .433, 18 home runs on the season. Durkowski deals. She'll rocket that into right field. Stevenson will make the play. The runners will stay at bay at first and second, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it looks like Clements wanted to tag up there and almost did, but Ella Stevenson out in right field brought the ball back in pretty quickly, and McVeigh was there to snag that ball and walk her back to second base.
Megan Grant will step in. Just a phenomenal season, as you said at the top of the broadcast. .409 average, 22 home runs, 70 RBIs. As that pitch misses outside.
Yeah, the craziest thing about her is she has 6 grand slams.
Yeah, that's
on
wild.
The season, and 3 or on her career, but 3 of them came just in this April.
Well, she has 2 on. The 1-0 misses just out, or does find the outside part of the zone to run the count even 1-1. And Megan Grant coming off back-to-back National Player of the Week and Big Ten Player of the Week in the week of April 8th and 15th. As Durkowski is set in the circle, will deal the 1-1. That misses outside to run the count 2-1. 1 down, 2 on for the Bruins.
Definitely hard to approach a batter like this who's their home run hitter, usually gets a home run each game. You're going to try to just hope that she chases or walks her.
The 2-1 is popped up into shallow center field. Conway will call off the middle infield and make the catch herself. 2 down for the Bruins.
Yeah, that was a great pitch there by Durkowski. It looked like she was trying to do that like the entire time, where she's going to give her a rise ball with a lot of spin on it, and then she's going to get right underneath it and pop it in the middle infield area.
Kanaya Bragg will step in, the 5-hole hitter. Playing short. One of the phenomenal freshmen for this Bruins squad. As that first pitch off the hands of Durkowski finds the outside part of the plate for a strike. And Bragg has taken over that starting shortstop spot after an injury from Alina Garcia, and actually leads the country in hit by pitches with 19 on the season. Not a phenomenal record to have. The 0-1 is swung on hard in between. Finds some grass in right field. Stevenson will make the throw for home as Clements will make the turn. She will score safely. And there's a bit of a rundown here between third and home and first and second. Just a game of chicken. They'll both retreat to the corners. So now runners at the corners with 2 down for UCLA.
Yeah, tensions were high there. I mean, a couple of not errant throws, but throws that definitely could have been made a little bit better coming in from outfield. Probably should have cut that ball off from going home, because it seemed like, UCLA already scored at that moment. And then almost a pick there at second. Just a lot of crazy throwing. It was good for McVeigh to just walk her back to first and not make any errant throws to cause confusion.
First pitch, Riley Slimp misses outside. Another freshman hitting .383 on the season. Has notched 20 RBIs. Great opportunity for UCLA with runners at the corners. Next pitch finds his own, even it up 1-1. Michigan donning the pink jerseys. It's pink day here at the Hutch. Pink jerseys, blue pants, followed by UCLA all grays with blue pinstripes. Zerkowski is set. Rocks back and deals, even count. That misses downstairs and away to run the count 2-1.
Lily Valmont doing a good job checking third base. UCLA doesn't seem like they're afraid to lead off quite a bit and take those extra bases where needed. So Lily Valmont staying very vigilant.
The 2-1 is swung on hard to Indiana Langford, who will glove that cleanly, fired over to first, and that will retire the side. So UCLA will strand 2 runs at the corners, but they will scratch across 1 run to take an early lead as we move to the flip side of the first. Your score 1-0.
Hi, my Michigan family. My name is Jill Martin from the Today Show, and I am a proud University of Michigan alum and cancer survivor.
It's a pretty packed, it said it was a sold-out crowd here at Carroll Hutchins Stadium. It looks like it is now, as fans have just ended filing in.
A lot of pink and quite a bit of UCLA fans as well. More than expected since they're on the other coast. But,
it's an historic program. 2 historic programs here, Michigan, UCLA, rematch of the 2005 Women's College World Series where Michigan came out on top. This is UCLA's first trip to Michigan, and that's one of the things now with the expanded Big Ten. You have these California schools having to deal with the cold when they never had to in the first place.
Yeah, I would have come to the game even if I wasn't broadcasting.
I would have too.
Just knowing both teams and knowing their history and just how good both teams are at softball, I would have come because I would have known it was going to be a good game.
Yeah, I would have too. I completely agree. Maybe I'll have to come tomorrow. 7 o'clock game. Maybe.
7 p.m. Sunset game?
Yeah, why not? Come on.
That could be nice.
Under the lights, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's senior day tomorrow.
And senior day. You have Ellie Sealer, Durkowski,
McVeigh, Aiken too.
And Kaylee American Rodriguez too.
So that's a big senior class departing. They'll be celebrated tomorrow. We'll get underway in the bottom of the first. And if you've been following Michigan softball, this lineup really no different. No surprises. Indiana Langford will lead things off. Currently sitting on a 6-game hitting streak. She will face Taylor Tinsley in the circle for UCLA. And this is a stout pitching staff all around for this UCLA squad. And she's just one of many. Top 5 nationally and strikeouts 4th with nearly 400 as that first pitch off the hands of Tinsley finds his own first strike.
Yeah, something I always talk about when I'm doing these broadcasts for softball is how much I love Michigan's lineup and how they set it up. Having Indiana Langford at the top is extremely smart as a slap hitter and a short game player, and she's really fast and he's usually able to get on base. And then you have Conway up next in second slot, who usually can get her over. So great lineup right here.
Count 1-1. UCLA read the scouting report. They're all in on the speedy slap hitter. That pitch is outside. And I've called a bunch of softball for this Michigan squad. I haven't seen a defense this aggressive on Indiana Langford, knowing she can put down the perfect bunt, gallop down the line, and beat out a lot of easy throws. She'll foul that one straight back behind home plate to even it up 2-2.
Yeah, that could get in your head, too, as a batter when you see the defense creeping up on you like that. Again, I also have watched a lot of Michigan softball, and I really haven't seen very many defenses actually crouch in when it comes to Indiana Langford like this.
The 2-2 fouled straight back to run. We'll do it again next time at a 2-2. It's rare you see the middle infield shade in as well. Normally it's just the hot corner at third that moves in on Indiana Langford. She'll try to poke it out opposite into left field.
Even the shortstop, too, because if she slaps, it's going there.
She'll ground that to the shortstop, fire it over to first for the first out of the inning. You drew that one up perfectly, Sydney.
A slap hit right to short, and it was a shorter slap hit, too. Which some slap hits can make it to that outfield area, but you don't really see that with Indiana Langford. She plays the short game, and that's what happened right there.
Certainly. I mean, yeah, you called that one on a silver platter. Janisa Conway, the 2-hole hitter, will step in. She'll take a big swing and a miss. She was swinging for the fences on that one, so she's quickly down 0-1.
Interesting how the defense has now expanded right back out.
They do their homework.
They do.
I mean, two smart schools, UCLA and Michigan. Next pitch outside to run the count even 1-1. And despite the disappointing weekend for the Michigan squad in Columbus, Janisa Conway had a really good weekend. Hit 8 for 12, 6 doubles, a home run, and 3 RBIs. The 1-1 is fouled back to run the count 1-2.
I also know that her approach to batting is very much take each pitch as it's the first pitch, and I think that's just helped her a lot. Hitting over 600 at the top of the lineup over Michigan's 3-game weekend.
The 1-2 is skied into center field. Shading under that one will be Clements, and that will be a high towering second out of the inning. The sophomore center fielder will give up the box for the freshman Lauren Putz. Playing designated player today. Recently named to the top 25 watch list for National Freshman of the Year. Certainly has the resume to back it up. She'll go first pitch hacking, skied into shallow center field. Charging to that one will be Clements. 3 up, 3 down for Taylor Tinsley to keep things at a 1-0 lead as we move into the second.
Yeah, both pitchers have been pretty smart when it comes to these big hitters and going at them. They've been applying a lot of spin to the ball, which is what you really need to do, so that those big hacks at the ball either go foul or go right up or become grounders. You never want to fail in the meatball zone because then they're just going to sling that one out. So both pitchers have done really well at, approaching these really big batters.
Certainly a pitcher's duel in this Friday matchup. 7-8-9 due up for the Bruins. Durkowski will trot back out, already surrendering 1 run. And around the horn for Michigan is Ramey at first, Langford at second, Ella McVeigh at short, Erickson at third, left to right in the outfield. No surprises, Sealer, Conway, Stevenson behind the dish, Valamont, and pitching is Durkowski. Really no surprises all around. This has been the lineup for pretty much the entire season. And it's all important now. You have to know who you have to rely on, especially with time ticking in the season. And, if this team wants to, again, go to the NCAA tournament, NCAA regionals, they need to pick up a win this series. And why not start it on the Friday? Just get over that hump. Alexis Ramirez, the designated player, will step in, hitting .316 on the season. First pitch off the hands of Durkowski, finds the inside part of the plate for a strike.
Yeah, it's interesting. She's a right-handed batter, but her nickname is Lefty.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. The 0-1 swung on foul towards the Michigan dugout. So Ramirez quickly down 0-2 as we begin the top of the second. Durkowski gets the sign from Coach Brundage in the circle. Settles into the rubber. Rocks back and deals the 0-2. Upstairs, Ramirez checked her swing, did not break the plane.
Yeah, good call there by Lily Valamont to check that. It's up to the catcher. to check those. If, the catcher doesn't do it, nobody will. But she definitely did not go. So I agree with that call.
The 1-2 misses just below the knees to run the count even 2-2. Valmont stuck the hand out to try to get the favorable call from home plate umpire Christina Drum. As the 2-2 pitch is on the way off the hands of Durkowski. That misses inside to run the count full, 3-2. Great patience from Ramirez to fight from an 0-2 to a full count, 3-2. As Durkowski's set, she rocks back and deals. Full count pitch. Ramirez will poke that to Ella McVeigh at short. Fired over to first. First out of the inning. Easy work from the veteran shortstop in Ella McVeigh.
Yeah, quite a bit of a stretch there by Lauren Putz. That ball a little bit wide for McVeigh, but Lauren Putz doing her job at first. Stretching to grab that ball. Makes that out.
Maggie Daniel, the freshman catcher, will step in. The 8-hole hitter. Nobody on. One down for the Bruins in the top of the second. Durkowski will deal. First pitch to Daniel. Finds the lower half of the plate for a strike.
Excuse me, that's Ramey at first, not Lauren Putz. That's my bad.
It's final season, The 0-1. Big swing from Daniel. She'll foul that one straight back to run the count 0-2. This is a big series for Lauren Durkowski, who will likely have 2 starts. She has today. She'll have likely Sunday. The 0-2 swung on and missed by Maggie Daniel, and that's now 2 down. Durkowski gets her first punch out against this potent UCLA Bruin lineup.
Yeah, Durkowski's been doing pretty well with, her rise balls. I often talk about her change-ups because I love a good change-up that catches someone looking, but no, the rise balls have been her pitch this game thus far.
And Caitlin Terry, the 9-hole hitter, will step in, plays both ways. First pitch misses just outside for a ball. Terry coming off a Pac-12 first-team campaign, also freshman of the year, and last season pitched a complete game shutout against Michigan last season before they made the jump to the Big Ten. As the 1-0 on the way, misses yet again outside to run the count 2-0.
Yeah, she's got a pretty famous mother, Christy, who played softball at Florida State and then was a catcher for that team, but then ranked 8th in the program history with 275 career hits, so obviously got her mother's genes there.
2-0, make the count 2-1 on the outside breaking ball. Except Caitlin went on the other side of the country. Florida State,
yeah.
Tallahassee, all the way to L.A.
Both warm places.
Yeah, no,
like
there's the...
But it's a nice day today.
A little bit of a breeze. Certainly colder than L.A. as the 2-1 finds the outside part of the plate as Terry pulls back the bunt. That does find the zone to run the count even 2-2. Good fight from Durkowski to even up. And she'll check the wristband, settle back into the rubber. Gets out of the crouch and deals the 2-2, and that's popped foul above the UCLA dugout, and we'll do it again at the 2-2 count.
Yeah, great at bat here for both Durkowski and Terry, both battling their way to what they want. Terry fouling off those pitches, causing Durkowski to pitch more, but Durkowski's giving it at her.
The 2-2 off the hands of Durkowski. That's chopped in between McVeigh and Langford to find some free real estate in center field. That will be a 2-out base hit for the 9-hole hitter in Caitlin Terry. The lineup card will flip over. Jessica Clemens will stand in with a runner on first.
Clements batting a .303 with runners on base, which is pretty good. Anything above a 300 I would consider really good.
Clements singled and scored in the first. That pitch is downstairs. Terry will go for second. She will stand at second safely. Stolen base for the 9-hole hitter. So runner in scoring position now with the leadoff hitter, Jessica Clements, standing in. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second in the top of the second. Durkowski will deal. The 1-0 finds the zone to make it 1-1.
Yeah, coming from Cal Poly, Clements was their leading hitter in program history with batting a .411.
The 1-1 is shot into left center field. Terry will take the turn for third and score. Clemens will slide into second safely. That's an RBI double. Now Clemens responsible for both of the Bruins' runs, one in the first, one in the second, and UCLA takes a 2-0 lead.
Which makes sense why she's leadoff batter if she's bringing in people from coming on base, especially later in the game when the leadoff batter originally is probably somebody who's coming on when there's people on base. She did a pretty good job so far.
Savannah Pola will step in with a runner on second. She walked in her first plate appearance as that pitch misses downstairs for a ball. 1-0 count, still 2 down for UCLA. Durkowski checks the wristband. Rocks back and deals. That pitch just misses to run the count 2-0.
Yeah, Pola being a part of the 200 hits club. She is the 37th Bruin in program history to join it. She made that mark versus their game at Ohio State.
Next pitch to Pola misses again downstairs to run the count 3-0. And Pola in her senior season has seen an incredible jump. Hit 241 last season, now stands at 444. So over a 200-point jump in batting average is crazy in your senior season. The 3-0 misses, ball 4. Pola will take the free pass. Now runners at first and second with 2 down. And the 3-0 hitter, Jordan Woolry, will step in, and Jen Brundage, the UCLA alum, will step out and meet with Lauren Durkowski in the circle, along with the infield as well.
Yeah, Brundage, part of the UCLA alumni who are present with us today. A lot of them obviously on the UCLA team, but you wouldn't expect one for Michigan, as Michigan tends to hire a lot of Michigan grads to their coaching staff. But she came from UCLA and was a Hall of Famer at UCLA, obviously knows what she's doing. UCLA has a great program and has brought some of that here for the Wolverines.
Certainly now 26 seasons on the Michigan coaching staff as she'll trot back to the dugout, and we'll get underway as Woolry will step in with 2 runners on. First pitch misses inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Woolry flew out to right field in the first. As Durkowski deals, that is shot foul down the first base line to even it up 1-1. And it's got to be weird for Jen Brundage. You never would have thought Michigan and UCLA would have been in the same conference. You'd be playing in Ann Arbor, Michigan in April.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like, seeing like a team that you used to play on. I mean, obviously she didn't play with any of the girls who play now, but she knows that uniform. She knows their style a little bit, especially with their head coach.
Yep, coach with Inoy Perez, the head coach, and the associate head coach Fernandez at UCLA. And also, won a gold medal, won the Women's College World Series, so they've been through it. As the 2-1, the changeup just misses to run the count 3-1. And Coach Brundage has got a resume. I believe 2 Women's College World Series runner-up, a Women's College World Series championship, a gold medal. As Woolry will take a big swing down the left field line. Sealer will play that off the wall. 1 run will score from second. The stop sign from Inoy Perez will be held for Pola. 1 run will score off the RBI double from Woolry. UCLA extends their lead. They tack on 2 so far in the top of the second.
Yeah, if that hit went to the right field and did the same exact thing and hit down that line, it probably would have scored Pola, who's now at third base. Which is why when you're up to bat and you see somebody who's on first and second or second and third, you want to hit right field because then you can bring in as many batters as you can.
We'll see if Megan Grant can do that. The big bat has 2 on in scoring position as Durkowski will pitch out. So they will intentionally walk Megan Grant to load the bases. But they just have to do the formality of 4 pitches, and they will. Second pitch misses outside expectedly.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see this so early in the game, but with her resume, I don't blame them at all.
I mean, her offensive stats just jump off the charts. 409 average, 22 home runs, 70 RBIs, a slugging percentage at 1.078 at this point of the season. That's absurd. Second in Division I in home runs and RBIs. And in her last 10, 7 home runs, 20 RBIs, as she will see 4 pitches to the outside. Now UCLA will load the bases with the 5-hole hitter, Kanaya Bragg, stepping in. Huge opportunity for the freshman who did drive in a run, drove in Clemens in the first.
I mean, she has 36. 36. I don't know why I felt like I said that weird. 36 RBIs on the season and 7 home runs. So definitely somebody that you'd be a little bit nervous being up to bat with, bases loaded.
First pitch off the hands of Drukowski, finds the zone. Great changeup to find the bottom half.
Yeah, UCLA also averages 1.57 homers per game, so you're probably going to see one at some point during this series.
The 0-1 finds the zone. Drukowski is up 0-2.
There it is, that changeup that I was talking about. I love to see it.
We'll see if she goes to changeup again as she is ahead 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. Still in the top of the second as Drukowski will stand with the right foot on the rubber. Rocks back and deals. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. Half-hearted swing from Bragg retires the side. The Bruins strand the bases loaded. However, they tack on 2 to extend their lead to 3-0 as we move into the bottom half of the second.
I mean, what a nerve-wracking situation to be in. You intentionally walk one of the best batters, not only for the UCLA Bruins, but just in NCAA softball in general, to make the bases loaded. And then you have a dominant freshman with Kanaya Bragg who's up to bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and you just need to get her out. And, you know, that's what Drukowski did, and that was phenomenal under that much pressure.
And that's what she does so well in her Michigan career. You know, really against top-tier opponents. She did that a lot last year against Florida in that phenomenal game in Tampa in February of 2024. Hasn't done that so much this year, but that was a big spot to keep things, stop the bleeding as we move now into the bottom of the second. 4, 5, 6 due up for Michigan. Stevenson, Valamont, Sealer, your first 3 guaranteed hitters at least. They will face again Taylor Tinsley.
Yeah, Taylor Tinsley. She has 2 career no-hitters, and her last one was March 8th this year versus San Diego State. So she's obviously, you know, had a career no-hitter this season. You know, great pitcher there for the Bruins. Not normally their go-to, but definitely one of the ones they are not afraid of using.
Yeah, certainly not, and she has a history with Michigan. Complete game shutout, punched out 6 in that effort as well. Went 21-3 last season off 182 innings pitched, 2.3 ERA, 161 strikeouts. And just one of 4 of the phenomenal pitching staff that this Bruins squad has. They're ranked number 7 for a reason. Let's see if Michigan can foil that. Down 3 as Ella Stevenson will step in, the cleanup hitter, to face Tinsley for the first time. First pitch misses upstairs for a ball.
Ella Stevenson, normally I see her in the position to ring in some batters for RBIs. Now up to bat as a leadoff, batting .560 as a leadoff, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. The 1-0 misses again upstairs to run the count 2-0. Ella Stevenson had an explosion at the back half of last season. The 2-0 swung on and missed. Tinsley pulled the string on the breaking ball to run the count 2-1.
Yeah, it's the drop ball. It comes in looking like a strike and then drops right down as soon as you want to hit it.
It certainly did that time. The 2-1 is swung on and hit hard in the left field. Playing under that one will be Clements, who will play that in left center. 1 down. As we move to Lily Valamont. We had a huge grand slam in the last game of the Ohio State series to put Michigan quickly up 4-0. However, Michigan squandered that lead and got swept in Columbus in just a trio of heartbreakers. The 0-0 is upstairs. 1-0.
Yeah, Lily Valamont being behind the plate as a catcher. Catchers tend to have some of the biggest arms in both throwing and batting on the team.
Valmont takes a big cut at that one. We'll foul that one off the back net to even it up 1-1. So one's all around, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the second. It's Valmont donning the pink tape on the purple bat, matching the pink uniforms. The 1-1 is swung on and chopped into fair territory down left field, and that'll be a 1-out base hit for Valamont. A little bit of a golf chip shot, it looked like, just notched into fair territory, and that's Michigan's first hit of the evening.
Yeah, that's all Michigan really needs. They tend to play a shorter game than most teams. Not too many slug hitters on the team. They go for the base hits, and that's all they need is to get some people on base, and then Michigan does what Michigan does best and is able to ring them in. But that just goes to show that not all hits need to be pretty to make something happen.
Certainly not. You can take what you get, especially against this UCLA pitching staff and this squad in general, as that pitch finds the zone off the hands of Tinsley to Ellie Sealer, hitting .313 on the season, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, playing left field today. No surprise there. Tinsley rocks back and deals. Sealer punches that one into the UCLA dugout to run the count 0-2. A half-hearted swing off the bat of Sealer.
Woolery looking like she was going to go catch that foul ball.
I thought she was going to get that,
I thought she was
actually.
going to get it too. But a lot of times when you're running for a ball that's in the air, you want to keep your glove tight so that you can get to that ball and then pull it out, and she was running with her glove out the entire time. Slows her down.
The 0-2 puts a charge onto that one, and Sealer, that is right to the left fielder in Slimp for the second out of the inning. Solid piece of contact off the bat of Sealer, but no free real estate out in left field. So now 2 down for Michigan with Maddie Erickson stepping into the righty batter's box. Erickson takes a big cut at the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike.
I think Maddie Erickson is one of the most underrated players on the Wolverines. I don't think she's talked about enough, especially like her performance at third base. She's just an outstanding hitter all around, and you could tell that with her preseason rankings. You know, she was ranked 70th.
There you go.
In D1 softball, D100 player rankings. So, you know, it's somebody that, you know, I feel like we need to talk about more.
Certainly had a monster season last year, all Big Ten first team, and drove in a run versus Oakland on Tuesday. She is punched out on 3 strikes, so 3 up, 3 down, and Erickson at the plate. They will strand Valamont at first. Michigan scratches across 1 hit. However, Michigan still down 3-0 as we move into the 3rd inning. Lauren Durkowski will trot back into the circle.
Yeah, kind of like I said in the beginning, Michigan needs to make their bats hot if they really want to catch up to UCLA, because UCLA is consistently hitting over each inning. It's rare that they leave an inning without a hit or an earned run, and so, you know, Michigan really needs to get their bats hot. But, you know, also softball is one of those sports that anything can happen in 1 inning.
Yeah, certainly.
1 inning, bases loaded, home run, anything could happen. So, you know, Michigan probably just needs to warm up a little bit, and then they'll come back.
It's a gorgeous day for softball. Sun's out, a little bit windy, a little colder relative to the last couple days here in Ann Arbor. And that's more of a challenge for UCLA, who has to come from the sunny confines of Los Angeles, California, to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Their first time ever in the state of Michigan. One of the great rewards of moving to the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's kind of silly to see both teams, UCLA bundled up in their big jackets, and Michigan, barely any of them are wearing jackets. This is normal. This is nice for them.
They're wearing sweatshirts and quarter zips. They have the full winter jacket. They're used to it.
Yeah.
It's been colder.
which sometimes I feel like is an advantage. Like when I played in Texas, the weather was obviously really nice.
Yeah.
And then when
right.
I would go and play somewhere really cold, like it was a lot harder to
You would
grip
actually
the ball.
go
It was
somewhere cold voluntarily. I
um,
was gonna say I can't imagine if you're in Texas. I can't imagine you going up to like Michigan.
I came to school here.
Oh yeah, but like for a softball tournament.
Yeah.
First pitch from Durkowski misses outside, 1-0. I mean that's a change for you. You played club softball here.
Yes,
So
for
you're
2 years.
used to warm. You have to get used to the cold now.
Yeah, that was part of it. I got a little bit of the yips. I don't know if you heard of what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just kind of lost what I had. It was really hard to grip the ball, really hard to throw it. It's just really cold all around too.
Count now 1-1. Great pitch from Durkowski to find the outside part of the plate. She'll hammer that part of the plate yet again to run the count 1-2 to Riley Slimp. 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to Indiana Langford in the first. And Michigan needs a goose egg on the board here in the top of the third. Durkowski will deliver right to Erickson at the hot corner. Fired over to first with a cannon of an arm, as she does for the easy first out of the inning. And I have to say this for every softball game I've done 20 now. I think this is 20th.
Wow.
Maddie Erickson has an incredible arm talent.
Yeah.
It just has crazy zip on it. You don't see that from, I think, most of the players on this team. There's a zip to it. It's fun to watch every time.
I've seen her make some really crazy plays. And
Oh, yeah. Ramirez will rifle the first pitch to Durkowski. Erickson will corral that herself. A little bit of a miscommunication as Durkowski was reluctant to pick that up as Erickson was charging. Madeline Drum, or Christina Drum, excuse me, will come out from behind the plate to check on Durkowski. Durkowski will give a nod of approval. She's all right. She'll settle back in. So with one down, Ramirez will stand in at first.
yeah, I'm not really mad about that communication there. I mean, it hit Durkowski in her glove arm, and she had to, collect herself, pick it back up, but then she's facing third base and then would have to turn around and throw that ball, whereas Maddie Erickson was already charging at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good idea for Maddie Erickson to call her off that ball just so she at least picked it up and had a chance. Didn't end up throwing it because, we got some speedy runners for UCLA here.
Yeah.
But, it was good because she's facing first. So if anything were to happen, she has the ball, she's facing it, she's already coming that way. Whereas Durkowski would have to recollect herself, turn around, throw it, do whatever needed to happen. So I'm not mad about that.
Bit of a double switch for UCLA early in this game. Now hitting for Maggie Daniels, Sophia Mujica. Donning the double zeros. Lauren Hatch called out at second. Was called in to pinch run. She's called out at second. She is still standing on the bag. She doesn't believe that she was called out. She's giving the look.
I mean, she's never been caught stealing before, so this would be her first. She's stolen 8 bases this far in the season. So they're going to review the play to make sure that she is either out or safe.
And boy, that was a dime of a throw from Valamont in the perfect placement for McVeigh to quickly put the tag on. And Lauren Hatch quickly, the first pitch she sees from first base, goes darting for second. So Inouye Perez, the coach for the Bruins, will delegate a challenge. They will take a second look at this. Close play regardless. See if they show another replay from the left field video board in Alumni Field here in Ann Arbor. The initial call was out, and it looked like when they first showed the replay, Valmont had that one on a dime. I think the question was if McVeigh put the tag on in time.
Which it looked pretty close. I mean,
yeah.
Right off the bat, I would have thought she was out, but then looking at the replay on the video board, I'm not sure at all.
So
her foot might have gone there.
Maybe, yeah. Well, from that camera angle, couldn't see it. McVeigh was in the way, but it's close play regardless. Lauren Hatch, who stands now at second, has not given up that piece of real estate.
which is what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah, she was
know?
confident as soon as she slid in, she was safe. She immediately disagreed, and
Yeah, if she were
that's
to
where
come
I
off.
lean. If you're that confident, I think that.
Yeah. I mean, because you usually know, and
Yeah, right.
you know that they're watching on video and that they can go back and check. And so if you're confident in it and you're going to stick to it, then, hey, maybe she was actually safe. But she's supposed to stay on second. If she gets off, and especially if she goes into the dugout, you know, she's whatever the call was, it's staying. So good on her for staying there and standing her ground if she truly believes that she was safe.
So we will see indeed the umpiring crew still in the Michigan dugout taking a second look. Going to appreciate the deliberate review, making sure this one is right. That would be a big second out for Lauren Drakowski in Michigan to try to keep things at a 3-0 deficit and prevent a speedster and Hatch in scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, Hatch coming into the season had a perfect 18 for 18 stolen bases, and then this season has had 8, a perfect 8 for 8. So this would be her first time ever being caught stolen.
Wow.
You know, in her collegiate career, which would
That's
be
wild.
crazy. But
That's
you
wild.
know, she
Maybe the cold does impact. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
maybe, but it's not even that cold. The sun just came out.
Well,
like,
it's cold relative to
to
LA. That's what I'm saying.
UCLA,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. But you know, that's probably why she's so confident.
So the umpiring crew will trot back out. They have made their decision. The play is confirmed. Lauren Hatch called out. Her first time caught stealing in her collegiate career. That prevents a runner in scoring position for the Bruins, and that's a big second out for Lauren Drakowski in Michigan. Sophia Mujica still standing in.
Yeah, her favorite baseball team is the San Diego Padres, who just played the Detroit Tigers.
You were at 2 of them. You
I
were at 2 of them.
I was at 2 of those games in our club.
Yeah.
WCBN Sports
Comerica is
Broadcasting got to
Comerica
go.
is a good park. That was my first time.
Really?
Comerica is a good one.
It was
I like
a really fun game.
See, my thing is with MLB ballparks is like they have to be integrated into the city. It can't be like a stadium with a bunch of parking lots around it. That's that's horrible.
It's also about what's around the stadium
Right.
that makes it cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the Tigers won that series too. The 1-0 off the hands of Drakowski, misses downstairs to run the count 2-0. 2 down, bases empty for UCLA. I doubt there's anybody on the Bruins, maybe even Michigan, that has the Cincinnati Reds as their favorite team.
No.
I would love that though.
No.
2-0, swung on and missed, way out in front of the breaking ball. Drakowski pulls the strain to fight back to a 2-1 count.
Yeah, it's really hard to see the pitches where we're at right now, but, you know, sometimes I have a feeling it was a backdoor curve, but it's hard because I'm looking from the side.
The 2-1 is swung on and missed to run the count even 2-2.
Yeah, it's that rise ball. It's been catching UCLA a lot this game. Either big hitters are getting right underneath it and just popping the ball right up, or completely missing it.
We'll see if Drakowski runs to that again. The 2-2 off the hands of Drakowski. Just misses inside to run the count 3-2. That looked good from up here. The Michigan contingent, full crowd here at Carroll Hutchins Stadium, let out a collective groan. Big pitch coming up, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bases empty. Drakowski delivers, and that pitch just finds the zone. Drakowski punches out Mujica, and that will retire the side to keep things at 3-0. That's Drakowski's first goose egg.
Wow, I mean, that's the first inning thus far that UCLA has yet to score a run. So Michigan has it in the pitching staff, but, you know, they really do need to wake up their bats if they want to catch up to this 3-run lead here.
Certainly they have 8, 9, and 1 due up next. Start with the big power bat in Maddie Ramey, whose development from this time last year to now has astounded me. And she came into Michigan as mostly a speedster and came in against Iowa, had a huge pinch hit walk-off against them. I was on the call for that. Still one of my greatest memories behind the headset. That
Really?
was wild. And then developed into a real power threat this season. 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, hitting 1 tick above 300. Has been the everyday, pretty much everyday first baseman starter. She'll get her first cuts at Taylor Tinsley in this UCLA squad.
Yeah, I know sometimes they'll put Lauren Putz at first, but I think more recently they've been playing Lauren Putz as a designated player.
Yeah.
When I called the home opener on behalf of WCBN, by the way.
There you go. See.
Lauren Putz was, I believe she was playing first, and so I think they've kind of found a new groove where Maddie Ramey now is at first, and Lauren Putz has just been focusing on her batting.
Yeah, it's certainly paid off. She's had a phenomenal freshman season. Maddie Ramey will step in, the junior first baseman. First pitch misses outside. Good eye from Maddie Ramey. She's quickly up 1 ball, no strikes. As Tinsley will go back to work for the Bruins.
Yeah, batting a .444 in leadoff position, which is not bad at all.
The 1-0 misses again outside and low to run the count 2-0. Again, great eye from Ramey. And this Michigan lineup, remarkably patient. Even from the outset of this season, up and down, they've been remarkably patient and disciplined. She'll take that pitch chopped over to Megan Grant at first. She will make the 3 unassisted play herself for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, she was playing pretty shallow as well. So, again, I think that's where the UCLA scouting report really helped the Bruins here is not all the time do you see a first baseman playing that shallow, and she was able to get that ball on 1 hop and beat her to first.
Ella McVeigh will step in, the Des Moines, Iowa native. That first pitch finds his own for a strike. Infield in, just like they did against Indiana Langford. Both middle infielders playing more towards the foul line in about 2 steps away from the base path. That pitch misses outside to even it up 1-1. Ella McVeigh hitting 1 tick under 180 on the season.
Yeah, she bats a lot like Indiana Langford, except she's a little bit of a bigger hitter than Indiana Langford is. Her slaps tend to go a little bit further. Indiana will lay down a bunt and beat it out, whereas Ella McVeigh will play a little bit more of the long game.
She had her first collegiate home run a couple weeks ago inside the Parker. Nonetheless, still counts as a home run. That was her first collegiate home run in her senior season. The 1-2 is swung on right to the second baseman in Pola. Only had to move about a step to her left to make the play, and that's 2 down for Michigan. The lineup card will flip over for the first time, and Indiana Langford will step in. Who grounded out to shortstop Kanaya Bragg in the first.
UCLA's defense has really been, outstanding here. They've really followed their scouting reports. They've made the plays that they need to, and then have made even bigger plays outside of that, just like that catch there by Pola.
I mean, they've certainly done their homework, and it has worked to almost perfection. Only allowed 1 hit through 1 foul sweep of the lineup. Indiana Langford steps in. She's quickly down 0-1. That pitch finds the inside part of the plate off the hand of Tinsley.
That's probably where Tinsley has a sigh of relief and probably doesn't get too much in her head because she knows she has a defense that'll back her up and make those routine outs that she needs to have, which is crucial as a pitcher, especially because pitching is such a mental game.
The 0-1's fouled straight back to make it 0-2. And it is just a chess match, really, between pitcher and hitter. Something romantic about that for both baseball and softball.
Yeah, I agree.
The 0-2 in the dirt. To run the count 1-2. Janisa Conway on deck, the 2-hole hitter. Infield playing in, outfield really shallow as well. Tinsley will deliver the 1-2. That misses just outside to run the count even 2-2.
Now Langford batting a .283 last season. She's much improved, obviously now batting a .419. Not too much of a big hitter, but she's the person you want on base.
The 2-2 upstairs to run the count full, 3-2. So that's 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases empty for Michigan in the bottom of the third, still down 3.
Yeah, if Indiana Langford can get a hit this game, she will match her 7-game hitting streak, which is her best over her career. She's currently at 6. So if she can get a hit this game, she'll be at 7, which is her best.
The 3-2's fouled back, and we'll do it again at a full count next time. And mostly those hits have just been infield singles she's been able to beat out down the line. The 3-2 is poked to Bragg, who will make the quick throw over to first. A little bit bobbled by Grant, was able to corral that in just in time to retire the side. And UCLA and Taylor Tinsley keeps rolling against this Michigan lineup, has seen 10 and has kept things at a 3-0 score UCLA lead.
Yeah, it's something where you're going to have to adapt and change things mid-game, during the game, based off of what you're seeing UCLA doing. They're following their scouting. They know what's about to come up, so you're going to have to start doing different things and trying different things. Indiana Langford, a great short game hitter, but they're catching on to that, and they're able to field those and throw them to first before she gets there. So maybe try, sitting back and hitting one, or slapping harder to get to the outfield. I don't know. Just trying something new, because UCLA has done their homework, and you can tell.
Yeah, I mean, they've done their homework certainly more than other Big Ten teams. Certainly, like Rutgers a couple weeks ago, they played in, but not as far in as UCLA has done. Maybe Indiana Langford or Ella McVeigh could try laying down a bunt just to try to beat it out, just to get somebody on. So we'll see how they adjust. Lauren Durkowski and this Michigan defense will trot back on. 9-1-2 due up.
Yeah, Lauren Durkowski, they're going to feel her loss when she leaves the program as a senior. I mean, best ERA for Michigan, a co-captain with Ella McVeigh and Ellie Sealer, just an instrumental player, both, for the team and herself as well.
There'll be a lot of big losses. Ella McVeigh at short, who has held down that position since she has been on campus. Caitlin Terry will lead things off, 1-for-1 with a single in the second and scored. She'll go first pitch hacking. That'll foul down or behind home plate to run the count 0-1.
Yeah, back when UCLA was in the Pac-12, she was all Pac-12 first team as a pitcher. So she pitches and plays outfield. Versatile.
The 0-1 misses upstairs to run the count even 1-1. Still getting used to the new Big Ten with UCLA in the same conference as Michigan. Still getting used to that.
I mean, it's so crazy. If you had told me this was going to happen when I was coming into school, I would not have believed you.
The 1-1 misses just outside and low to run the count 2-1. I remember even how the news broke was weird. It was like rumored on Twitter, and then like 30 minutes later, it's like, oh, yeah, it's official.
Yeah, it was like a rumor at first.
That's really weird. Yeah, I didn't think it was real at first, and now sitting here calling a Michigan UCLA softball game. The 2-1 pitch is rifled to Ella McVeigh. That falls into her glove. She'll fire it over to first quickly for the first out of the inning. Excellent play from Ella McVeigh, and that's why her presence in the lineup is still wanted despite some offensive struggles. Shows her defensive prowess there for the first out.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's different about baseball is that you don't have too much time when it comes to softball to get the ball to first. Ella McVeigh making that play and popping up really fast to throw that ball to first. I mean, a few seconds later, and she would not have made it in time. And
that was a rocket off the bat of Terry as well. Jessica Clemens lays down a bunt foul. 2 for 2 with a single in the first, a double in the second. Drove in a run as well and scored twice. So responsible for all 3 of UCLA's runs. She'll step back in the box. No balls, 1 strike. She'll foul that one back again to run the count 0-2. Great catch off the netting from Maddie Erickson at third.
Yeah, Clemens being an outstanding hitter this game, being the cause of a lot of the runs on the board for the Bruins.
Clemens shows bunt, pulls back. Durkowski deals the 0-2, misses upstairs to run the count 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, I saw what she was doing there. She's up in the count. She's going to throw her rise ball, see if she chases. But the Bruins, they've been pretty keen on her pitching, but those rise balls they haven't really been able to catch up with.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed by Clemens. So that's a big strikeout from Durkowski. her third against this UCLA lineup. Now that's 2 down as a 2-hole hitter. Savannah Polo will step in, 2 walks. And Drkowski looking to rewrite that narrative. Maddie Erickson playing a little bit in against the lefty second baseman. Pitch misses just outside. First pitch off the hands of Drkowski. 1 ball, no strikes. Bases empty, still in the top of the 4th. This game has flown by at the hands of excellent pitching. The 1-0 misses yet again outside. Make the count 2-0. Valmont will get off the dish, go to the circle for a quick chat. Ella McVeigh as well, and Maddie Erickson. They'll high five all around, and we'll get back underway. 3-0 your score. UCLA lead in the top of the 4th. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. The 2-0. Finds the outside part of the plate. Great bounce back pitch off the hands of Lauren Drkowski to fight back to a 2-1 count.
That's so interesting. I wonder, we won't really ever know what they were saying in the circle there, but, you know, she was throwing rise balls and then came back with a outside screwball and a backdoor curve right there.
Yeah, great pitch.
Trying to stay level in the zone, but, you know, using the corners on the outside. Maybe that's what, you know, Lily Valmont went and told her.
It certainly worked to fight back from a 2-0 to a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Drkowski deals. That pitch misses just downstairs to run the count full.
That was a close one right there.
Drkowski thought she had that one in the circle, but she'll step back on with a full count. She settles into the rubber, takes a deep breath, rocks back and deals. And that'll be popped over the stadium, and we'll do it again at a full count next time.
Yeah, Pola batting a .442 with 2 outs. So usually able to get ahead of it, but we'll see if it happens here.
3-2 pitch on the way from Drkowski. She'll chop that over to Erickson, who'll make the jumping grab. Fired over to first on the bounce. Great pick from Maddie Ramey to retire the side. And the entire Michigan infield hyped up after that. Great pitching from Lauren Drkowski, and this Michigan defense as well stepping up to keep things at 3-0 after UCLA tacked on 1 run in the first, 2 in the second. 2 straight goose eggs to follow that one up to keep things manageable for this Michigan offense should the bats come alive.
Yeah, I mean, great play there again by Maddie Erickson. I've seen her do it several times where she's able to jump and grab those balls. I mean, she's not too tall of a person from what I'm seeing, but she's able to, her vertical is high, and she's able to always snag those balls that should go over most third basemen's heads and make the throw to first. I mean, it's hard to snag those balls to begin with, but then to collect yourself to make that throw to first when the batter is already almost there. I mean, crazy play there by Maddie Erickson, and a great pick by Ramey. Like that ball was in the dirt, and she was able to scoop it up almost like a catcher would scoop up a drop ball and make that play there.
Yeah, she made it look easy, certainly. And Maddie Erickson stands at a modest 5'5", was able to get up there. And again, it's the arm talent that I alluded to earlier in the broadcast to make up for it. Again, Michigan's defense stepping up in support of Lauren Drkowski, this Michigan squad's ace. 2-3-4, the heart of this Michigan order, due up next in the bottom of the 4th. Prime opportunity for Michigan to claw back UCLA's 3-run lead. Still very manageable against the 7th-ranked squad in the country. Taylor Tinsley still on the mound, or excuse me, in the circle for the Bruins. And we will get underway. Conway flew out to center. Outfield playing deep against the big bat, Janisa Conway. First pitch misses outside for a ball.
Yeah, she's had a 154-point improvement over her rookie season. She went from 236 batting average to a 387 now.
The 1-0 in the dirt to make it 2-0. And Conway's freshman season was solid, and to be able to build on that even more is I mean, she'll be a special player in 4 years in the maize and blue, certainly. And still got 2 more years to go. 2 balls, no strikes, bases empty, no outs. Tinsley checks the wristband, deals. Conway cuts at that ball in the dirt to make it 2-1.
Yeah, that drop ball almost caught her there. I mean, some of the hardest pitches to hit and to catch behind the plate, as we saw, it kind of deflected outwards. And
Was that
Ramirez,
hard for you when you used to
Oh,
catch?
I hated when I got the drop ball call. I was like, please no.
The 2-1 misses outside to run the count 3-1.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to get in the dirt and have to block. And blocking
You
was
have the
always
pad.
the
I mean,
hardest for me.
you got the guards.
Sometimes, but they're not on top of my hamstrings, and so when I'm
Okay,
down,
all right.
you know, I just have to catch it with my glove. Do better.
Big hack from Conway to run the count full 3-2. Swung at that breaking ball downstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tinsley will settle back into the rubber with her right foot, rocks back and deals. Big swing and a miss. Conway's punched out.
Way ahead of that ball there. Probably was a changeup, which is the reason why it was a great hack, and if she had gotten a piece of that ball, it would have gone far, but, you know, that changeup really caught her, and she was way ahead of that ball.
That's Tinsley's second strikeout as Lauren Putz will step in. First pitch finds the outside part of the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Putz popped up to the catcher in the first inning. Tinsley deals, swung on and fouled straight back behind home plate. The freshman in Putz quickly down 0-2.
Yeah, Putz started off the season as a dominant hitter and then had a little bit of a lull until the Ohio State series where she totaled 2 doubles and 2 RBIs and came back from her lull with a bang.
The 0-2 is swung on in the dirt, so that's 2 straight punch-outs for Taylor Tinsley against the heart of this Michigan order. So now 2 down for Michigan. Great stuff from Taylor Tinsley against Conway, who's had a phenomenal season. Putz with a phenomenal freshman campaign, and Ella Stevenson, who's picked it back up. 34 RBIs as well.
Yeah, Ella Stevenson is a pretty disciplined player when it comes to being at the plate. She usually waits for her pitch, and that's probably why she has so many RBIs on the season. Not too much of an out-of-the-park type of hitter, but a big hacking hitter.
And she took a big hack on that, count even 1-1. And the way Stevenson picked it up last season was Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the last 6 weeks to end the season last year, and has picked up that mantle throughout this season. Been really consistent. She sees that one fly by. That finds the zone to run the count 1-2. 2 down, bases empty.
Yeah, she was given a changeup there, but waited on it because not everybody likes to have a changeup.
The 1-2 way upstairs at the head level to run the count even 2-2.
She's batting a .300 with 2 outs. So not too bad, but her average is better.
Tinsley deals the 2-2 and swung on a line drive to right field. That'll find some grass for a base hit. That was a rocket off the bat of Stevenson. Great piece of 2-out hitting. And there's a base runner on. Michigan's second hit on the evening with Lily Valamont, the 5-hole hitter, due up to try to rally things with 2 outs.
Ella Stevenson, she usually gives hits that look exactly like that. A line drive that makes it to the outfield but bounces before the outfielder, which is why she's able to bring in those runners for an RBI. But nobody on base, you can't really have that happen. But getting people on base is all Michigan really needs to do.
Valamont stands in, sees the first pitch, missed the zone for a ball. Valamont singled in the second, looks to repeat that here in the fourth. Tinsley checks the wristband, rocks back and deals. Count now even 1-1.
Stevenson, not too much of a stealer for the Wolverines. Only has 1 stolen base on 3 attempts, so caught stealing twice.
The 1-1 swung on, fouled back over the press box. We'll do it next time at a 1-2 count.
So I don't really see her stealing at some point during this game, especially with, you know, a Bruins defense that's been pretty on top of their game so far.
The 1-2 swung on, chopped into the UCLA dugout. And we'll do it again at a 1-2 count next time.
Yeah, Valmont already having a hit this game. She knows what it's like to hit against Tinsley, so just needs to apply it again, and Ella Stevenson will do her job at the base.
Tinsley rocks back and deals, swung on and fouled. Just got a piece of that off the end of the bat to stay alive. Bit of a battery meeting. Alexis Ramirez actually replaces Maggie Daniel now behind the dish for the Bruins. Had a pitch in opportunity in the third and will stay in the game behind the dish. Will work with Tinsley as Tinsley plays with the rosin bag. Settles back in as Valmont steps back into the righty batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down for Michigan. Ella Stevenson stands at first at the ready. Tinsley deals. Valmont has a healthy hack on that. Unfortunately for her, in foul territory, we'll do it for a 3rd time at a 1-2 count.
.28 RBIs, healthy amount.
The 1-2 is chopped to third. Woolry will make the play, fired across the diamond to first. That will retire the side. So Michigan will strand Stevenson at first and keep things at a 3-0 lead. Tinsley has gone through now 4 innings of shutout ball and has quieted this Michigan lineup.
Yeah, Michigan leaving 2 runners now on first base, both able to get 1 single hits. You know, again, it's the bats, and sometimes they're not hot, and UCLA's bats are usually hot. I mean, Michigan has been able to shut them off for 2 innings, but they're going to have to make up for the first 2 innings where they allowed 3 runs. So in order for the Wolverines to really kind of push through this game, their defense has been great. They've been able to do what they needed to do. They just really need to wake up their offense, and sometimes it's hard. I mean, I just know, like, going a couple games without a hit and then having a game where I'm hitting a lot, and you know, sometimes you just have to rely on your teammates to pick up where you yourself are lacking in the hitting department, and you can't have the whole team unable to get on base.
It's due for someone, certainly, and we'll see who that is if it does happen. And credit to Lauren Drakowski in the circle as well, has really picked it up. Has also relied on Michigan's defense as well behind her to make some plays, and that they have.
Especially that left side with McVeigh and Erickson.
That's a dangerous defensive combo on that left side for sure. 3-4-5 due up for UCLA, so Lauren Drakowski here in this top of the 5th has her work cut out. She rocks back and deals to Worley. She'll go first pitch, hacking down the third baseline, foul. Lanoy Perez got out of the way in the coaching box.
Woolry top 10 in the NCAA for home runs. She's 9th with 18.
There's just a lot of top 10s on this team.
I mean, crazy batting for the Bruins.
Woolry puts a shot into that one, and without a doubt, that is gone. Put a barrel into that one, and Jordan Woolry to extend their lead 4-0. Nearly got to the baseball scoreboard, if you know the dimensions here in Ann Arbor, and no doubt Lauren Drakowski had her work cut out with 3-4-5 due up, and Woolry makes her pay.
Yeah, speaking of those home runs, she just hit one. She was ranking 9th. Not sure where she's going to rank after that one, but puts 19 home runs there for her on the board.
Make that 41 combined home runs between Woolry and Megan Grant, who now stands in the box. Base is empty. Unfortunate for Drakowski, I guess. Nobody on base, just a solo leadoff shot. First pitch off the hands of Drakowski. Got a piece of Grant, says Home plate umpire Christina Drum. She will take the free pass.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it gets annoying ever that you're such a good hitter that you either get walked. She got hit. Not sure if that was on purpose at all, but they intentionally walked her last time, and I would be like, I want to hit.
I feel like that's a good problem to have.
I know it's a good
like
problem to have.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
But then the team's like not really letting you hit, which personally hitting was my favorite part of the game.
See, I never played baseball when I was younger. I should have. That was a big miss for me.
Looks like we have a pinch runner.
It's Riley Pinedo will step in for Grant, who stood at first off the hit by pitch. Kanaya Bragg will step in. Freshman shortstop 1 for 2 today. As a runner at first with nobody down.
Yeah, Pinedo being one of their go-to pinch runners. She doesn't really get too much action, defensively or at the plate, but she tends to be their go-to when they need somebody to be on base to steal and to score.
Drukowski settles back in with the right foot on the rubber. Rocks back and deals to Bragg. She takes a big swing into foul territory to even it up 1-1. Pinedo at first, Bragg at the plate. Drukowski deals the 1-1 and misses to make it 2-1. As the wave begins here at the Hutch, I haven't seen this stadium sold out like this ever since I started calling games.
I mean, those UCLA fans, they're pretty hype.
They did travel. The 2-1 misses. Drukowski quickly behind 3-1.
I think part of it is also that it's, their first time ever playing in Carol Hutchins Stadium.
And these two teams have history.
Yeah, they just entered.
They have history.
The Big Ten. Yeah.
The 3-1 is swung on. Pinedo tried to dart for second, but that one was foul. So she'll retreat back to first. Count now even 3-2.
Although I've never seen the wave happen in this stadium. I don't know about you.
No.
This is so weird.
I mean, they advertise this game as a sellout, and it certainly looks like it is. And that's awesome to see, certainly. A little bit of a discussion between home plate umpire and Lily Valamont. I don't know what that's about. We'll get it back underway.
Pinedo left early.
Oh, she left
first,
early. Got it. All right.
She got called out.
Good eye. I didn't hear what she was saying, so good eye. So that's one down for Lauren Drukowski. Base is empty now for Bragg. She will deal. That's downstairs, ball 4. And that's a big out for Pinedo. She would have been on scoring position.
Yeah, especially
after the walk.
She's used exclusively as a pinch runner for the Bruins, so you don't really have too much room to make that type of error where you're leaving early. Especially at this point in D1 collegiate softball, you have to rely on your punch runners to do their job, and leaving early is one of those mistakes that you just can't happen.
Slimp will dig in 0 for 2, grounded out to Langford in the first, and Maddie Erickson in the third. She'll take that first pitch in the zone for a strike, lower half of the plate.
Yeah, Riley Slimp, one of the only non-California natives and one of the 2 Texas natives from Georgetown, Texas.
Is that by you? I don't know my Texas geography very much. That pitch is upstairs.
Honestly, I have no idea where
you don't know your own
is.
state geography? Come on. It's a big state. It's a big state. I'll give you some slack on that. But if that is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, then that's pretty embarrassing
I will
for you.
be pretty embarrassed.
Oh, no.
It's near Austin.
Oh, that's like a different country. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. As that pitch off the hands of Drukowski will find the lower half of the plate for a strike. Good fight from Drukowski to fight back into a pitcher's count. 1-2 now. As Drukowski checks the wristband, settles back into the rubber, puts the left foot back, right foot on the rubber. And deals the 1-2, swung on, And corralled in by Erickson, who will fire it over to first to try the double play, but Bragg will slide just in time. Heads up play from Erickson, even though that didn't turn up as a double play. Great catch on the line drive, though, at the hot corner, and they call it that for a reason.
I mean, crazy play right there. It's so easy to get caught up in the out that you just made and just kind of let the runner go back to first. But knowing where you're going to go to next is always so important in baseball and softball. It's such a thinking man's sport. That's what my dad likes to say. To where you got to know what the next play is.
Alexis Ramirez will step in, takes that first pitch outside of the zone for a ball, 1-0 count. Bragg still stands on first, narrowly avoided the double play. And that would have been a huge swing of momentum for Michigan. Fortunately, though, for the Bruins, they still have a chance here. Ramirez 1 for 2 with a single. She'll pop that one foul down the third base line to even it up 1-1.
Yeah, the Bruins are using their whole team as much as they can. They're pinching their pinch runners. They're bringing back their big hitters.
Ramirez will rifle that into left field for a base hit that finds some grass. Sealer will play that one quickly to keep Bragg at second. Make that a 2 for 3 day for Alexis Ramirez with 2 singles. Sophia Mujica will step in 0 for 1. Struck out looking in the third. 2 runners on, 2 down for Lauren Durkowski in the circle in Michigan to try to keep things at a 4-0 lead after the leadoff home run off the bat of Woolry. Durkowski deals. Mujica way in front of the breaking ball. Durkowski has an incredible ability to pull the string with her changeup and did it there for a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Mujica having a hard time striking out looking, and then swinging for a low pitch.
The 0-1 just downstairs to run the count even 1-1.
She's already a pretty decorated freshman competing for the Team USA at the WBSC U18 World Cup with Addison Fisher, who's also on the team and will probably end up pitching tomorrow.
Yeah. The 1-1 misses to make it 2-1. And this UCLA squad really deep. Have a ton of highly touted freshman recruits, including Addison Fisher, as you said, who was the consensus #1 recruit. And I'm sure she will see some time likely tomorrow or Sunday to try to close it out. Durkowski settles back in. The 2-1 on the way is popped up high. Erickson will make the play herself, put the glove on it. That will retire the side. UCLA strands 2 on first and second. But Jordan Woolry puts a charge into left center field to extend UCLA's lead to 4-0.
Yeah, the Wolverines doing a pretty good job cleaning up their defense. I mean, yeah, like I said, you're going to see a home run at some point during this series. UCLA averaging at least 1.5 of them every game. I don't know how you get a half home run, but averages work that way.
Well, I mean, you keep it below the average, though. They
yeah,
are below the average, so
they are
there you go. That's all you want. Keep it.
However, the game has not ended
I know.
yet.
Just take the averages down. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, so that was kind of to be expected, but everything else they've done defensively after the second inning has been great.
Certainly has, and Michigan, and particularly Lauren Durkowski, has done really good at just limiting the bleeding. Because Durkowski, just besides from the scoring chances that UCLA has capitalized on, there have been many more of those that Durkowski and this Michigan squad defensively have stopped. So, I mean, this could be a worse game had they not gotten out of that, but they have done a remarkable job at it. To keep it's still manageable, 4-0 as we move into the bottom half of the fifth. 6, 7, 8 due up. Sealer, Erickson, Ramey, all 0 for 1, and look to start a potential rally here in the fifth.
Yeah, 4 runs in 1 inning is very doable, especially I would say this is something that the Michigan baseball team and the Michigan softball team share in common. They're not too consistent across the innings with getting runs and stuff, but they usually have 1 or 2 innings where they just rally and are able to get a bunch of runs, and it usually lands around that 4, 5, 6 runs in 1 inning mark.
So we'll see if that happens. That would bode well for Michigan just to get back into the win column in Big Ten play. Finally notch their first win against a ranked team, 0-for-8 so far. Ellie Sealer will lead things off, sees the first pitch outside for a ball.
Ellie Sealer ranks second on the team in batting average, posting a .310 in a leadoff position.
Sealer was, as she sees that ball in the dirt, she was the leadoff hitter last season, lost that job to Indiana Langford, who has had a remarkable season, moved down to the middle of the lineup, hitting 6th today, and normally just about every game, and has thrived in that role, hitting .310. Tinsley will deliver. Sealer will find some grass in right field down the line, and that's a leadoff base runner for Ellie Sealer, and as Michigan tries to put together a rally, and that's the way to start it.
Or, sorry, my stats were wrong. A .405 in a leadoff position. And we tend to see Ellie Sealer in a leadoff position. I don't know how it happens with the Michigan lineup in most of the games I have watched. It's the same people who lead off during different innings. It's usually Ellie Sealer, McVeigh, and Indiana Langford at some point, and occasionally Janisa Conway. But
yeah, I was going to say Janisa Conway seems like she's often leading off innings. First pitch to Maddie Erickson, misses downstairs. The 1-0 swung on and dribbled foul to run the count even 1-1. The sun now becoming a factor, particularly for center and right field, as well as the right side of the infield. It's the sun just blaring as the sun sets on a beautiful day in Ann Arbor. Tinsley rocks back and deals 1 ball, 1 strike. Erickson bloops that one in the shallow center. Sealer will slide into second safely in time. And Michigan, 2 straight hits, nobody down. Sealer at second, Erickson at first. A potential rally starting here as Maddie Ramey will step in with a prime opportunity to get back into this one.
yeah, our first time seeing 2 Wolverines on the bases tonight. Now we have a pinch runner.
Lexi Delamonica for Maddie Erickson, no surprise there. Delamonica, speed threat. Pretty much been the primary pinch running option throughout her entire career in the maize and blue. Maddie Ramey will step in to try to drive in the 2 that are on. Ramey 0-for-1, grounded into a 3 unassisted in the 3rd. Ramey will go first pitch hacking. That's skied foul above the UCLA dugout, out of play.
This is a situation where you're going to want to aim right field if you're able to. Obviously keep it either in front of the outfielders or behind them, but you have a runner on first and second hitting to the right field. You have speedster Ellie Sealer and Delamonica as well.
That certainly plays into Maddie Ramey's hand, as she is a lefty batter. We'll see if she can do that here. She's quickly down 0-2. Looks like Ava Costalis is on deck for the Michigan Wolverines. Big power bat. Tinsley will deliver. That's outside to run the count now 1-2.
Yeah, Michigan's switching it up here a little bit. Throwing Ava Costalis in there, and Maddie Ramey now in a position to bat with runners in scoring position.
Tinsley puts that one in the dirt. Ramey sat down on strikes now. Ava Costalis will step in. Ramey swung at that pitch way in the dirt, got way out in front. Ava Costalis will step in. The big power bat has yet to notch her first hit this season. Last season, she was primarily the starting designated player in Big Ten play. Lost the job, struggled early season, and in Big Ten play so far has yet to notch a hit so far. Is Ella McVeigh, who Ava Costalis is replacing at the plate, is starting to go blue chan. It looks like a rally is starting to formulate here as Michigan tries to get back into this thing in the bottom of the 5th with 1 down, 2 on.
It's interesting because Ava Costalis, like you said, is such a power hitter, and I think part of it has to do with, her being a power lifter in high school.
Yeah, I say that every time. You beat me to it.
I love it. I
Dang,
love
you beat
it.
me to it.
Because I love powerlifting just like myself, but I never actually
You do?
Yeah, but I never actually just joined like an association.
Gotcha.
But, being a deadlifter and a total lift record holder.
You are?
No.
Oh, I thought.
Ava Costalis.
Oh, I thought you said you were.
No,
not
me.
I was gonna say that's a fact
not
I've
me.
never known about you. Wow. I say that's a pull.
Imagine.
Hey, I don't know. Ava Costalis goes first pitch swinging, fouled behind home plate.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, from watching Michigan softball last year, she was a pretty crucial hitter for the Wolverines in terms of power behind her hits.
Yeah, she can put a charge into one. If you know the dimensions here, left center field leads up to Ray Fisher as she'll foul that one back behind home plate. Anyway, she put a charge into one off the scoreboard about 3/4 of the way up. Totally gone.
I didn't know that was her. Because
Yeah,
I remember the scoreboard was broken for a little bit because a ball had hit it.
3/4 of the way up of the huge scoreboard at Ray Fisher. Just put a charge, and she has put baseballs pretty firmly into center field of the baseball stadium.
That's crazy.
The 0-2 misses outside to run the count 1-2.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Oh, no. The baseball scoreboard. She went 3/4 of the way up.
The baseball scoreboard.
Yeah. I'm sure she's done some damage to that video board and left, too. But I know that I saw that one that went 3/4 of the way up of the baseball scoreboard. The 0-2 misses way upstairs above the head to run the count 2-2.
Yes, I'm pretty good friends with the center fielder for the baseball team, Greg Pace Jr. He told me that he had gotten hit in the back of the leg once from Janisa Conway's home run this
that
season.
Makes sense.
One of her many. So I think that's so funny that happens sometimes.
The 2-2 is swung on and missed by Ava Costalis. She will see the bench. The pinch hitting opportunity does not formulate, and Indiana Langford will try to continue this rally that Sealer and Erickson have started. In a big spot, infield playing in. Bit of a risk with the base runners on. Tinsley will deliver. Langford will foul that one on the third base side.
Yeah, Langford's going to really need to try to aim for that gap in front of the outfield in order to move the bases over and possibly get a bases loaded situation for Janisa Conway. Not play the short game, but just try to aim for the outfield.
Tinsley settles back into the rubber. 0-1 on the way. Indiana Langford gets a piece of that one. Foul down the third base line yet again. Langford quickly down 0-2.
Yeah, having a 6-game hitting streak. She's trying to match her career record right now, and this would be
this would be the time to do it.
The time to do it, yeah.
0-2 today. Tinsley deals the 0-2 count, misses outside. Count now 1-2.
It's funny, Indiana Langford's walk-up song is from Indiana Jones, I believe.
That's genius. I think that's a stroke of genius. As Tinsley is set in the circle, rocks back the 1-2. Indiana Langford gets a charge into that one. Fielded by Bragg. It gets away from Grant at first. Sealer will take the charge for home. Indiana Langford goes to second. It gets away from the shortstop. 2 runs will score, and Delamonica, who advanced from first to home on an infield single. Your score now 4-2 off a couple of defensive miscues from UCLA. Perfect play off the bat of Indiana Langford.
Yeah, UCLA's defense has been pretty close to perfect this game thus far.
Yeah.
And then to have such an errant throw to first base and then causing this kind of chaos happening in the middle, in the infield, and then just another errant throw, and Michigan took advantage, which I've seen before. Michigan is not afraid to take advantage of those errors. And Indiana Langford, one of the fastest people on the Michigan Wolverines, you don't want her to be on base when you are making errors like that, because she will take those extra bases and almost made it to third.
Janisa Conway steps in a huge spot with Indiana Langford in scoring position. She represents the tying run here in the 5th.
Like I said, I mean, anything can happen in an inning, and the Wolverines tend to be one of those teams, both baseball and softball, where they make it happen in one inning.
Yeah, I mean, you've been alluding to that, and it looks like that is starting to formulate here. Huge spot for Janisa Conway. 0 for 2. Struck out in the fourth. Tinsley will deliver. She'll put a charge into that one in the left field. Shading under that one will be Slimp to retire the side in foul territory. But nonetheless, Michigan claws back what was a 4-run deficit, now a 2-run deficit as we move into the sixth with a 4-2 score. UCLA still in the lead.
Yeah, the Wolverines, they tend to capitalize on, energy. I see that a lot. You can tell when they're down and you can tell when they're up. And a lot of times when one good thing happens, they just continue to work off of that. I mean, you see Ella McVeigh in shortstop. I think she's the prime example of this. She's always hyping her team up. And when she gets loud, the rest of the team does well. And so having an inning like that, UCLA shouldn't, just sit down and think that they've got this game.
No, certainly cannot get complacent against this Michigan team. And you're right about Ella McVeigh. I don't think I've ever seen her at short without a smile on her face or trying to hype up her team. As we do see a pitching change, it's Emerson Aiken in the circle for Michigan. The senior from Virginia earned her first collegiate win on Tuesday against Oakland and looks sound. 2 innings pitched, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts, a hit, and a walk. Certainly this UCLA squad slightly different from the Oakland Golden Grizzly squad she saw on Tuesday. She's got her work cut out to try to keep things at a 4-2 deficit.
Yeah, she tends to not be somebody they go for when they're looking to make a mound change or a circle change. You have Durkowski, you have Hain, and then you have Ferguson, who's been an upcoming freshman pitcher. I actually have not had the chance to see Emerson Aiken play, so I'm really curious to see how she kind of approaches this and what her pitches are.
Yeah.
Every pitcher has their few favorites, and so, Durkowski with her rise and her changeup, really curious to see what Emerson Aiken's was.
That first pitch off the hands of Aiken gets away from her upstairs, nearly at the head of Caitlin Terry. So you'll see 9-1-2 due up. Terry 1 for 2 with a single in the second. That pitch from Aiken finds the outside part of the plate to even it up 1-1.
Yeah, Terry batting a .357 right now in leadoff position.
The 1-1 is swung on, skied into shallow right field. Stevenson has to fight with the sun. She'll put a glove under that one for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, she's right there in the sun, but she's got sunglasses and a visor on. She's prepared. She almost misjudged that ball a little bit there, but was able to get right underneath it and make that play.
The lineup card will flip over. Jessica Clemens will step in, 2 for 3 today. Has had herself a phenomenal game with a single in the first, double in the second. Was punched out on strikes in the fourth. First pitch strike off the hands of Emerson Aiken.
I mean, she's been a great addition to the Bruins. I believe the only transfer that they brought in this year, and she's a grad one as well, so she has a lot of experience behind her. Not a Bruin to start, but great.
Clemens will put a charge into the right field for a base hit. Third hit of the day, 3 for 4 now, her second single. A 1-out base runner for the Bruins against Emerson Aiken. Savannah Polo will step in with 2 walks, grounded out to third base in Erickson in the fourth. Clemens on first, stands with 10 stolen bases. See if she runs, try to get aggressive here to extend UCLA's lead. Emerson Aiken deals. Valmont nearly fired that one over to first. She's always hyper vigilant behind the dish. That pitch is a strike. Aiken looking pretty sound in the circle in a huge spot against a formidable team in UCLA. She'll step back onto the rubber. Hobson deals, chops straight to Aiken, who fired to second, gets the force there to get the lead runner out. Great pick from McVeigh as that throw from Aiken spiked a little bit in the dirt. Great catch from McVeigh to get the lead runner out. So Polo will stand in at first with 2 down.
So interesting that, I mean, that's what you always hope for, is to get the lead runner out. But sometimes in those situations, you're not in the prime position to make a good throw. And she went for it anyways, and McVeigh is the person to be there to scoop that ball up out of the dirt.
Yeah, Jordan Woolry will step in, had a monster home run in the 5th. Solo shot to left center that extended a 3-0 lead to a 4-0 lead. As that first pitch off the hands of Aiken misses downstairs for a ball. Aiken is set in the circle and deals. That breaking ball finds his own to make it a 1-1 count.
I mean, crazy off-speed pitch there. I mean, it kind of tripped me out a little bit watching it. It's the changeup for me.
Aiken looking confident in the circle against the top of this UCLA order. Worry will get a piece of that one. We'll chop that one foul to run the count 1-2.
I think a lot of people would probably be wondering why Aiken was thrown into the game when Durkowski was playing well, and Aiken's not somebody they normally go to. But I think I kind of alluded to it in the beginning of the game when I said they need to just do something different, because UCLA has done their homework. And somebody they probably didn't scout as much is Aiken.
Right.
And so now they're up against a pitcher they don't know too much about.
The 1-2 finds his own for a strike. Emerson Aiken gets her first punch out against the formidable Rury. She is hyped up in the circle. She'll return with a parade of high fives from the Michigan dugout. Lauren Durkowski, one of the first to greet her as she trots back to the dugout to keep things 4-2. Emerson Aiken does her job and does it well.
And great decision there for Bonnie Thole to throw Emerson Aiken into the game. I mean, she wasn't doing anything that was too crazy from a normal pitcher, but she was not somebody that, the UCLA Bruins knew was going to just be put into this game. I mean, I would never have thought that she was going to, and she delivered. She definitely delivered, and she held her composure and was able to be in the circle and make the throws that need to happen and the pitches that need to happen.
Certainly, and Emerson Aiken, to put her in this slot, if someone were to tell me that a week ago, I would have questioned it. But, I called the game against Oakland. She had a phenomenal game, 2 innings of shutout ball, and she looked dominant there. She looked really sound in the circle, and she's had limited opportunities in her time in the maize and blue. And just from her time in the circle in Oakland, I thought she looked dialed in. And, when they put her in, frankly, I like your point of, just trying to throw things differently. Maybe they didn't scout for Emerson Aiken. And I also really liked her Oakland performance, try to continue that. And it looks like so far she has done that.
Yeah, the Bruins deciding to keep Taylor Tinsley in the circle, maybe trying to give her a complete game. I mean, she's been outstanding, I will have to say.
Yeah, she has.
Taylor Tinsley has not surprised me. I mean, I haven't really, watched her too much, but, I mean, just has held her own and has been a great pitcher, especially knowing that the Bruins have had such great pitchers beforehand, like Rachel Garcia.
Putz will put a charge in the first one out of play. Count now 0-1. Tinsley through 5 has allowed no earned runs as the defense surrendered 2 there off a trio of errant throws in the bottom of the 6th. As Tinsley settles back in, deals to Putz. That's upstairs to run the count even 1-1. Tinsley deals the 1-1. Putz puts a charge into that one into right center field. That'll fall for a base hit. Putz puts on the brakes as she thought about going for second, thought better of it. She'll retreat back to first. And that is a loud single for Lauren Putz. Another leadoff base runner off a base hit for this Michigan lineup. Ella Stevenson, the cleanup hitter, looks to follow.
Yeah, Lauren Putz has such a strong bat, and when she's able to get it going, it goes. And so, you know, she was able to make something happen there. But I have to give props to Clements out in center field, being able to get that ball and bring it back in and keep it to a single, because that definitely could have just been a double right then and there.
Ella Stevenson will step in 1 for 2, singled in the 4th. She'll go first pitch hacking. That's down the third base line. Sliding to make the play is Slump. Putz will tag up for second. She will successfully. So runner in scoring position. The sacrifice works to perfection for Ella Stevenson off the sliding grab in foul territory for Slimp in left.
I mean, that was a close tag there, though, because Lauren Putz, as she was sliding, hopped up a little bit and was completely off the base, but, you know, was able to get back down before that tag got to her. But
And that's a
really
gutsy
close
tag,
there.
too.
Yeah, that was a gutsy tag.
This Michigan squad, and particularly Bonnie Thole, has been aggressive and sends. They've been really aggressive on the base paths this season as Leigh Valmont steps in 1 for 2, sees the first pitch fall into the zone for a strike, singled in the second. Has a runner in scoring position in Lauren Putz. She represents the tying run. Tinsley will deal, will pop that into shallow center. Polo will make the play from second. Now 2 down for Michigan with Putz still in scoring position. Ellie Sealer will step in.
Yeah, Michigan, you know, started off a little slow, but have been making things happen in the later innings here. And, you know, all they need is 2 more runs to tie it up, and Ellie Sealer represents that tying run. But, yeah, I mean, the aggressiveness, I love to see it. Makes things more interesting, you know?
Yes, you know, certainly it has been interesting the last couple of innings. Sealer takes some time, will step back in. First pitch misses outside. Ball 1. Sealer singled in the 5th. Started that rally. The 1-0 is shot into left field for a base hit. Putz will make the turn for home. She will score. It is a 1-run ball game. Ellie Sealer coming up clutch for the Michigan Wolverines. It's now a 1-run game against the number 7th ranked UCLA Bruins.
I mean, fantastic hit there. That's what you needed to bring Lauren Putz home. And Lauren Putz had such a hop on that run. I mean, she was gone. You knew she was getting that extra base. I mean, I don't know if I would have been able to make it to home after that. But, I mean, Bonnie Thole also telling her to go, being aggressive with those bases.
Maddie Erickson steps in, will foul that down the third base line.
And Ellie Sealer, although, like, you haven't seen too much, you know, standout plays from her this season, she's been such a clutch player in certain situations, just like now, was able to start that rally to get those 2 runs in last inning and able to get the last run in this inning. You know, that's all you can ask for, especially as a captain.
Of course, the 0-1 misses downstairs to even it up 1-1, and you know what you're going to get out of Ellie Sealer. Just solid hitter for this team. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. Upstairs rise ball to make the count 1-2. 2 down, 1 on, and a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, beautiful rise there. Had a nice spin on it. Just caused Erickson to swing right underneath it.
The 1-2 missed just outside to even it up 2-2. Sealer stands in at first, represents the tying run. Erickson has some pop in that bat, represents the go-ahead run. Tinsley rocks back and deals. Erickson gets a piece of that one foul out of play, and will do it again at a 2-2 count.
Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, Tinsley's been such an outstanding pitcher this game, and, you know, the other runs that Michigan was able to get really didn't have anything to do with her pitching. I mean, she did her job, and the defense kind of just, you know, lacked a little bit in that area, but
the 2-2 is swung on and missed on the outside breaking ball. Erickson is sat down on strikes. She will strand Sealer at first, but Michigan continues to claw back what was at one point a 4-0 deficit, now a 4-3 deficit. 1-run ball game all of a sudden as Michigan still looks for that elusive first-ranked win of the season, and Emerson Aiken will trot back out. 4, 5, 6 due up for UCLA. Grant, Bragg, and Slimp. And Grant, again, huge bat, can change a game with one swing of the bat.
yeah, and Michigan has all 3 types of lefty hitters. They have the, you know, the slapper, bunter, plays the short game, and Indiana Langford. Then you have the slapper, who plays like the longer game, and McVeigh. And then you have the kind of, she can slap, and I've seen her slap before, but she tends to sit back and just hit the ball as a lefty hitter in Ellie Sealer. And they have struggled, the Bruins have struggled a little bit with Ellie Sealer in this game, in stopping and shutting her down. And I just think it's just interesting that she's one of the only, like, sit back lefty hitters that Michigan has. I believe, is Lauren Putz a lefty as well?
Ooh, you're gonna stump me on that.
I know, I don't have it up with me right now, but
Lefty hitter, yes. You're
yeah,
correct.
I mean, Lauren Putz had that great hit as well. So I just find it a little interesting that they're lefty hitters, not the slappers or the bunters. UCLA has been doing pretty good defensively against those, but have been the
Certainly.
standout hitters this game.
They have indeed. They have clawed Michigan back to make it a much more manageable one-run deficit. But Megan Grant, the junior first baseman, stands in the way. Aiken deals, first pitch strike, finds the outside part of the plate. Great location from the senior from Henrico, Virginia, in a huge spot against UCLA. Grant 0 for 1 was hit by a pitch in the 5th, walked in the 2nd. She'll take a charge into that one, find some grass in the right field for a base hit. Leadoff base runner for the UCLA Bruins, and Megan Grant, just a phenomenal season at the plate, just builds on that.
Yeah, just a perfect hit there. I mean, right down right field line. If anybody was on base, they would have been rounding it and scoring. So not somebody that you would want up if you had people on base, but, just her, she gets a single.
Bragg will step in. 1 for 2 today. Walked in the 5th. First pitch misses downstairs. Grant stands in at first. The Bruins looking to extend their one-run lead as Aiken settles in with the right foot on the rubber and rocks and deals. The 0-1 finds the zone to make it a 1-1 count. The 1-1. In the dirt, quickly corralled by Valmont to keep Grant at bay at first.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Just kind of comes off your hand a little weird. I feel like it's a lot more common in softball than it is in baseball. Baseball's more just an overhand throw. For softball, when you're tossing underhand,
I couldn't imagine pitching like that, honestly. I feel like I'd just sky it every time.
I mean, yeah, I literally
That seems so
can't
difficult to me.
pitch.
That seems so difficult to me. The 2-1 swung on foul, dribbled behind home plate to even it up 2-2. I mean, it does always amaze me, that, you can whip it around like that and, get close to the strike zone.
yeah,
that's crazy
and then throw
to me.
60 miles,
70 in the
miles
SEC.
an hour.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. I could never do that.
That's what I was saying. I mean, I played almost every position except pitcher. I couldn't play.
You
I
knew your
could not
limits.
do that
You
to
knew your
save my
limits.
life.
The 2-2 is swung on with a charge right to Sealer. Had to move 4 or 5 steps to her left to prevent Grant from moving into scoring position, and that's a big first out.
Yeah, I mean, she threw a changeup there, and a batter who knows a changeup is coming is a dangerous one. But I don't think Braggs was expecting a changeup there. She was able to sit on it and get a piece of it, but it became a little bit of a lob hit at that point.
Riley Slim will settle in. The lefty made the sliding grab in the last half. Finds the first pitch outside of the zone for a 1-0 count. Top of the 7th, 1-run game, 1 on, 1 out for the Bruins as they look to extend their lead before Michigan's last chance to get back into this one. Slim gets a piece of that one, dribbles that one foul weakly down the first base line.
Aiken doing a really good job in this high pressure situation. I mean, she was thrown in to where she needs to shut these Bruins down, and Durkowski struggled with it a little bit in the beginning and then was able to do it, and then
Slim puts a charge into that in the right field. Grant stays at second. McVeigh nearly tags Slim out as she puts on the brakes, gets back in time. 2 or 3 hard hits in a row from this middle of the UCLA order. Now 2 on with 1 out for UCLA. As Bonnie Thole gets out of the Michigan dugout, encourages her senior pitcher in the circle. Slimp on first, Grant on second. Alexis Ramirez, a sophomore catcher, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. will stand in. Aiken deals, misses outside for a ball. Aiken settles back into the rubber. The 1-0 misses downstairs to make it 2-0.
Yeah, Grant on second there, really eager to get to third. Huge lead off.
Grant, no stolen bases on the season, hasn't even attempted that either. The 2-0 misses yet again downstairs to run the count 3-0.
I'm not really sure if she's needed to when she's
No.
hitting grand slams and,
No.
and home runs
No.
every game. I mean, her last grand slam was this month on the 11th versus Washington.
And Washington's a really good team, too. 3 balls, no strikes. Aiken deals. That's in the dirt. Valmont can't get to that one. The runners will advance, but it really doesn't matter. Now bases loaded regardless.
Yeah, those are hard. I mean, that's why I said earlier that I would hate to be a catcher for drop balls because they're in the dirt and you can't tell if you need to flip your glove up or if you need to put it down palm side up.
Mujica will settle in with a huge spot for UCLA to extend the lead before the bottoms of the 7th. Coach Brundage and Coach Thole will meet with the battery in the infield in the circle. Try to settle down Emerson Aiken. He's looked a little rattled after Grant had a solid hit in the left field. Slimp had a solid hit in the right field. Looked a little rattled.
Yeah, Brundage talking to Valmont and Aiken, and then Bonnie Thole out there giving the infield a chat. So I wonder if, you know, she gave them some tasks to do. Bases loaded.
Yep.
Nearest base. That's what my coach always said. Bases loaded, just get the nearest base. If you're closest to second, just go tag second. You got force out anywhere, even home.
Sophia Mujica will step in. Takes a big hack at that one. Wanted to extend UCLA's lead by 4 runs off that one swing. Couldn't connect on it. No balls, 1 strike, 1 down, bases loaded for UCLA in the top of the 7th. Emerson Aiken deals. That's in the dirt. Quickly corralled by Valamont.
I mean, great
That one looked
block
rough.
there.
Yeah.
Great block there. Was able to get on top of it and then pop back up to make sure nobody moved, you know? Prime position for a double out.
We'll see if the double play happens. That would certainly swing things in Michigan's favor as Aiken slowly gets back on. Christina Drum pops back out. I believe something with the pitch clock. It looked like the signal.
McVeigh being the captain in the infield right now, coming in, making sure everything's okay, and then giving Aiken a little dap, and then they're ready to get going.
Count still 1-1. Count still 1-1. 1 down, bases loaded. Aiken back on the rubber quickly. Deals. Big swing and a miss from Mujica. Great rebound pitch from Emerson Aiken. Count now 1-2.
Bonnie signaling to Indiana Langford to scooch over a little bit.
1 ball, 2 strikes on the way from Aiken. That is skied into center field. Ella Stevenson will make it. She will make the throw in quickly. Both runners tag up. Grant will score. Slimp will advance to third. UCLA will extend what was a 1-run lead to 2. 5-3 your score.
Yeah, Mujica, that's all you want. You're trying to extend the lead. It doesn't matter if your hit gets caught, as long as it's, you know, giving, I believe it was Grant, Grant, who was on third, and a chance to tag up and then score.
So now runners at the corners with 2 down. Caitlin Terry, the 9-hole hitter, 1 for 3 on the day, will settle in. First pitch misses outside for a ball. And considering a bases loaded opportunity, that's not actually the worst thing to happen. there. Just the sacrifice fly. It advances 2 runners, just scores 1. And now Aiken's opportunity to limit things, stop the bleeding, keep things at a manageable 2-run deficit. Little easier with just runners at the corners. 2 consecutive pitches missed downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs for UCLA. Aiken is ready and delivers. That pitch finds his own. Great rebound pitch to put a strike on the board. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, great inside pitch there. Had a good amount of spin on it. Kind of jammed Terry right there, and she didn't swing for it.
Aiken settles back in and deals the 2-1. The breaking stuff finds the zone. Great job from Emerson Aiken to lob that one in there to even it up, 2-2.
Yeah, Aiken doing a good job at keeping it level in the zone, but then working the outside and the inside. Pretty good with the curve balls, the screw balls.
2-2 swung on off of Terry, and we'll do it again at a 2-2 count next time.
Terry switching to slapping now that she's down in the count.
A huge pitch here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for UCLA in the top of the 7th. Aiken settles in and deals. The 2-2 is chopped to McVeigh, who will flip it over to second. That will retire the side to keep things at a 5-3 lead for UCLA. Michigan's last chance here to win it or tie it, send it to extras as we move in the bottom of the 7th with a 2-run deficit.
Yeah, 2 to tie, and they've done it already in this game. In the bottom of the 5th, they were able to get 2 runs. So just need to do that and then add on another, or maybe even make it go into extra innings. But I think for the Wolverines, if they really want to win this game, they have to do it now in this inning.
I would agree with, yeah.
Not let UCLA come back in an extra inning, because they kind of brought back their bats, and they're pretty consistent too, having 1 in the first inning, 2 in the second, and then 1 in the 5th and 1 in this last inning. Like it's pretty consistent all over the place. So if the Wolverines really want to win this game, they're going to have to shut it down now and get their 3 runs now.
And I would say that especially if this does go into extras, due up next for UCLA 1-2-3, who have all had phenomenal games. Clements hitting leadoff 3 for 4 with an RBI. Woolry 2 for 4, obviously with the home run. Has driven in 2 as well. As there is a pitching change for UCLA, and it is Addison Fisher, the consensus #1 recruit. Gatorade Softball Player of the Year, had a complete game shutout against number 5 Oregon. And alongside puts is a top 25 consideration to be freshman of the year, and the stat line certainly bodes that consideration as well. 2.39 ERA, a flawless 14-0 record in the circle as she looks to close things out for UCLA.
Yeah, kind of smart to put her in at right now when the Wolverines are in a crucial position to. All she needs to do is get 3 outs, and UCLA has it in the bag. I mean, one of my favorite facts is UCLA is so California recruiting central that this is their first Oregon recruit.
Oh, I saw that. That kind of stunned me too.
Right?
Just neighboring states, that stunned me.
They also have their first Alabama recruit.
Well, that makes more sense because that's just like opposite part of the country. Maddie Ramey will deal that pitch first outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, Maggie Daniel, who we saw a little bit earlier in the game, but was their first signee from Alabama, which the South has pretty good.
Big swing and a miss from Maddie Ramey, who winces at that one. Nearly fell. Count now even 1-1. And the Alabama thing makes sense too, all the way across the country. Oregon, that stuns me. West Coast. Fisher deals. Ramey gets a piece of that one foul behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Addison Fisher also had a complete game shutout to lead UCLA to an 8-0 victory in 6 innings at the who used to be number 5 Oregon. Although they lost the series, Oregon.
And that's a swing and a miss from Maddie Ramey. CeCe Thornton will replace Ella McVeigh in the 9-hole hitter.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, Oregon, kind of killed Michigan. I will say it bluntly.
Yeah.
And so, but Oregon's been a fantastic team.
They're a really good team
so far. And so to have Addison Fisher go up against this team who's been playing really well and then have a shutout game. I mean,
Yes.
they rely on her quite a bit.
Yeah. So CeCe Thornton will step in, the freshman. Huge speed threat as she dribbles that one to pull at second. Makes the throw in time. That's 2 down. Now Michigan down to their final out. However, it is Indiana Langford. Leadoff hitter will step in a huge spot. Down 2 with 2 outs. And again, Michigan down to their final out.
Yeah, Indiana Langford still no recorded hit on this game. Will really need one in order to keep her streak alive, and also in order to keep the Wolverines alive in this game.
I think she would care about the helping the team.
Yeah, I think so too.
First pitch finds the zone. The next pitch misses just outside as she pulls the bunt just in time to even it up 1-1. Bases empty, 2 down, 1 ball, 1 strike. Indiana Langford at the plate. Addison Fisher in the circle for UCLA. 1-1. Finds the outside part of the plate. Now Michigan down to its final strike.
I mean, Addison Fisher just came into this game and has shut it down.
Certainly has. She checks the wristband, rocks back and deals the 1-2. Indiana Langford gets a piece of that one to stay alive. We'll do it again next time at a 1-2 count. Big pitch coming up in a beautiful sunset evening here in Ann Arbor. Fisher rocks back and deals the 1-2. That misses outside to run the count. 2-2. Great eye from Indiana Langford at the plate. Fisher checks the wristband, settles into the rubber, rocks back and deals the 2-2 pitch. Gets a piece of that one to stay alive. Great eye from Indiana Langford.
Yeah, Indiana Langford doing a good job just tipping it off where she doesn't want it. I mean, that was outside and could have been called a strike. I don't know. But, you know, just tipping them off where she doesn't want them and waiting for her pitch.
Let's go Blue Chants erupt. The 2-2 pitch on the way. And that misses just outside to run the count full 3-2. Excellent eye from Langford to stay alive.
Yeah, risky take there. I mean, it looked pretty good, but, you know, obviously a ball. But especially with when you're down in the count, making it full count.
Full count pitch on the way. Indiana Langford gets a piece of that one. Bragg fields that one cleanly, and that will end things here. UCLA takes the first game of a 3-game series. 5-3 your score off excellent pitching from Taylor Tinsley. Michigan's bats woke up down the stretch in this game. Fortunately, could not come up to end it. And Michigan begins this super series against UCLA with a loss. Make that 0-9 against ranked teams this season.
Yeah, I mean, the Wolverines can't be mad at their performance, to be honest. I mean, the UCLA Bruins, we've all known, is a great team, a great
Certainly.
program.
Oh, yeah.
Has been one since I was young, me watching them. I mean, to keep it to 5-3, come back towards the end of the game and almost make it out, I think it's a great effort for the Wolverines and makes me excited to watch them throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, certainly. This is a massive series for both teams, especially for Michigan, who have NCAA postseason aspirations. And I agree with you, Sydney. They showed a lot of fight. This Michigan squad, you know, down 4-0, really gritty to come back. And, you know, stout pitching from Emerson Aiken, who, you know, you wouldn't otherwise expect to make an impact, and she certainly did to keep things at a manageable lead, or a manageable deficit, I should say. And that'll end things here. 5-3 your score. Michigan, again, going down to a ranked team, now 0-9. They look to reverse that tomorrow. 3-game series. WCBN Sports will have coverage of that game, or I guess all weekend too. Excellent crew tomorrow.
Yeah.
With a previous director and the current director. So I'd say tune into that, and then another excellent broadcast on Monday to round things out here in Ann Arbor for the last home series for Michigan softball?
Everybody swarm the comments and tell TJ we love him because this
Oh,
is his
yeah.
last broadcast.
Well, last potentially in Ann Arbor.
Potentially in Ann
I
Arbor.
might
He
go-
can come back.
Well, yeah, I might go to the Big Ten tournament in West Lafayette.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, but last one in Ann Arbor is different.
Oh, yeah, and it's softball. I know you love softball.
Yes,
so.
I do. Yeah, no, I think it's like my 20th softball broadcast that I've done. I think
Wow.
something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, kind of weird. That's my last. I think this is the first time graduation's kind of hitting me now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, sad. Don't make me sad.
no.
Well,
Yeah, well, that'll end things, unfortunately, for this Michigan squad. I'm not ending things, with a win. But nonetheless, Michigan shows some fight here and are toppled in the first game of the series. And anything else, Sydney, to round things out before we end things?
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure, and this has been a dream game for me to call, just
Yeah.
UCLA and Michigan. Being a fan, I was talking about it with my parents, how kind of full circle this has been, because I always wanted to play softball in college, and UCLA has been always the team for me. And then I came to Michigan, and I love it here, and I love this team, and I love the girls on this team. So just seeing both of these teams compete against each other, it's just an honor.
Yep.
And to be able to call it, too, for WCBN has been
Certainly.
fun.
I mean, when I joined, I never thought I'd be calling, Michigan softball, especially ranked.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be calling UCLA. So this is a good way to end it here in Ann Arbor. Pleasure to end it with you, Sydney. I know we were probably one of my first friends because we joined the same time.
Yeah, we did.
So pleasure to end it with you. Pleasure to end it with Michigan softball. And that'll do it here from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Beautiful day in Ann Arbor. And we'll end things as we always do with a good evening and a go blue. Thanks, folks.